right, we're going to go ahead and start with these NBA playoffs, man, and we're going to do it like we did last time. We're going to start from the top left over here as the Oklahoma City Thunder are up 3-0 on the Memphis Grizzlies. Fellas, is this a surprise to anybody, or is this just we already knew this was coming?
I already knew this was coming. Honestly, number one team in the league regular season. I mean, yeah, you got Ja and Triple J, but it is what it is, man. This is like Oklahoma City's a well-oiled machine. This is a good tune-up series for them, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. They look impressive.
No, definitely. And, I knew OKC was going to take it, but going up 3-0 right now, I think the Grizzlies, I thought they were going to put more of a fight. In game 3, John Moran goes out in the first half because of a weird, awkward landing that he had with Lou Dort trying to make a play on him. He gets out of the game. He doesn't come back, and that just ruins the whole momentum for Memphis. They come back in the second half, third quarter. They only score 18 points while the Oklahoma City Thunder scored 36. They come back from the point deficit to come back and win by, 6 points, 5 points? So, man, you see was just showing how great they are on offense and defense.
Yep.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. OKC is definitely they just look like this is where they're supposed to be. They look the real deal. This doesn't look like a fluke at all. You got a bunch of young players emerging right now. Like they look like they're going to be around for a little while as well. They look like they just play together so well, man.
Yep. The biggest thing with Oklahoma City, and we're going to see this a little bit more in the postseason as the games get tougher and tougher, is how are they going to be able to take that leap? Are they going to be able to kind of make that, they're playing great together during the regular season, first round of the playoffs, great signs. But as, obviously the series is not over yet. Don't ever want to say anything. But we got to see how they play next round, if they make it past that. Because, like I said, last year, going up against Minnie, it was not pretty for them. So, they definitely got to show some championship pedigree. They got to grow together a little bit more this year. So, again, a lot of promise, but we saw this last year. Let's see if they can learn from their mistakes last year and take it one step further.
You think they could close it out and just sweep them?
Yeah, it's over today. 3:30. I believe the game's at 3:30. I think it's done today.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they did. I think that I think sweeping Memphis would really show people where their heads are at in terms of, this postseason.
No, and I feel like if they do complete the sweep, they get more rest. They get more analytical looks on who they're going to get next, the Denver Nuggets or the Los Angeles Clippers.
Series.
They get to work on more plays that they can incorporate into the next round. I think it will be great for them to end it today for sure. I think that's what we're going to see today if they can actually withhold their statue of being one of the greatest teams probably ever assembled, right? But obviously this season. So if they're able to close it out today, just like you guys alluded to, they show where they're at, where their heads are at, and what they're trying to do. If they're not able to do it today, I think they'll close it out in 5. I don't think they go back to OKC and they lose a game and the series extends even more. But I think it will show like, these guys can be beat and they are a little bit weak-minded.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's so like I want to ask you guys a question here. It's like a gift and a curse sometimes. Like if it comes to the playoffs. So if you look at the series underneath it here, if you're watching on the screen, if you can, if you're listening on the audio version, it's the next opponent would be the Clippers and Nuggets, and that's 2-1 in the series right now. And that series, like, is probably going 7. The way they've been going back and forth, Do you think it's a benefit for OKC to have that much time off because they're going to have to wait on these guys to get over? Or do you think that it's a negative thing because they're going to be sitting out for so long? Because this game, if this is the way it's going and the way it looks like that series has been going, we'll get to it in a couple of minutes. We'll be breaking it down a little bit more. But do you think that's a benefit or negativity for them having that much time off? BC, what's your thoughts?
I was going to say, I think it actually hindered them, especially in the early round. We've seen, I think, the last few years in the early rounds of the playoffs that teams with more time off in between series, it does kind of allow some rust to set in a little bit. Whereas as you've gone further into the postseason, that's when you start seeing that extra few days of rest paying off. Because, again, this is high leverage basketball here. And there's obviously it's hard to kind of quantify, but there is a certain point where the rust starts setting in versus the amount of
Right.
time you have off, the rest being a benefit. And then as you start getting more closer to the finals, conference finals, that's where that trade-off starts happening. And you start saying, okay, now because it's been such a dogfight, these last 2 or 3 rounds, getting to the championship, that rest is starting to be more important. So and again, too, like playoff, like the first round, literally season ended like a couple weeks ago, I want to say. So like they're just now getting the playoffs. There's a bit of a lag in between regular season and postseason, and now adding extra time off on top of that. Again, that's why for me, the early rounds is something where that rest is not necessarily most needed. You kind of want to save that more for the end of the playoffs. But again, if they're able to lock in, if they're able to kind of keep that momentum going, just keep studying on film, keep practicing, keep trying to simulate as much of a game situation as you can in Oklahoma City, that's going to help them.
What about you, G, Mike? You think it's a benefit, or would you rather get it going quicker if they do sweep? Obviously,
I think it's a benefit for young teams like this because I
Mhm.
feel like with older teams, like if they do rest too much, they go into
Mhm.
the next series or the next game, and then they gotta try to get their legs under them. They gotta get their motives going. They gotta get their legs moving, and they get rusty in the first, second quarter. You come back in the second half. Okay, now we got the energy moving. Now we got our legs underneath us, and we're good now. I feel like with young teams like this, and especially how successful the OKC Thunder are, I think that they're just going to hit the ground running game one. They're going to be so excited to play again
yeah.
that they're just going to be firing on all cylinders, defense, offense, setting picks, shooting threes, making dunks,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah, no, and I like the fact of it seems like OKC has a bunch of mature guys, if that makes any sense for a young team. They don't play like they're a young team. They play like this is what they're supposed to be, and they're vets, even though most of them are 21 and 26 or something. You know what I'm saying? Like they're younger team or something like that. So I think that they play like this isn't too big for them. This is where they're supposed to be, which is a benefit. And I agree with you guys as well. I don't think that they'll show any kind of rust if they do get this sweep today in the series and have to wait. I think they'll be just fine. Some teams, it seems like it kind of gets them out of the rhythm, but these guys just look like they're hungry and like this is what they're supposed to be.